How's it going, young marrieds? This is Pastor Malcolm. Just want to encourage you all. I mean, the world has gone bizarre. I'm kidding. But it's been crazy just because the world has kind of labeled this time of quarantine as a time of deprivation, not being able to do certain things. But for us, we've been trying to find ways to make this transformational for our marriage. And so we just want to share with you a couple of things that have helped us during this time. We spent a lot of hours together. A lot of hours. And with those hours comes more room for disappointment and irritation, which my wife.
Yeah, and joy too.
Yeah.
I would say more good than not. But yeah, just in our flesh and our humanity, like even little things for me, like, you know, we all know there's one way to do the dishes. I'm just kidding. But Malcolm and I have two different ways. So, you know, just even, you know, praying about those small things. So things that aren't worthy of fighting over aren't, you know, hurting the marriage.
Yeah. And also that has actually brought light to the necessity that we both need of alone time. And so like, I feel like for a lot of marriages, you're not used to spending more than 6 or 8 hours of active awake time together. You usually get 2 hours maybe in the morning, maybe 2 to 3 in the evening after work, but you're spending so much time together. And so I think it's important that you clarify to your spouse how much alone time you need. And it's not just because you're annoyed with them or you don't want to be with them, but it's important for you to be alone with your own thoughts, to be alone with the Lord so that you can serve your home well.
And Jesus did it too. Jesus, I mean, he greatly valued solitude and recharging in that way too.
Yeah. And so that's the first thing. And then the second thing that my wife and I did, we did this walk series, which is, we did almost a 5-day walk series. And every single day we had like a prompt question, and it was about 15 to 25 minute conversation. And we asked ourselves 5 questions throughout the week. And the objective is just to have intentional and visionary statements over, conversations around your marriage. And so some of the questions were, what do you want God to see when he views our marriage? Just because you want to be intentional that the thing that the Lord has put on your heart about your marriage, that you're taking those action steps, and then surrounding yourself with people who can pray and support you in that as well. And so that would be a great conversation starter for you and your spouse. The next question was, what kind of home do you want our children to say they grew up in? And I know I don't have kids yet, but we don't, sorry.
I was like, me either.
She's like, you better not have kids. But we don't have kids yet, but I think it's a good conversation that we can start just praying into together and casting vision. Some of you do have kids, and this can bring some more intentionality in your home as well. The next question is, how can we bless others with what we currently have? And this is about, this mindset of all you have is what you need. You can always serve, you can always give, you can always do something to advance the kingdom of God. Some of us think that we have to arrive to a certain point, have a certain status, but the truth is all you have is what you need with what God is calling you to do right now. And so we want to encourage you to have that conversation with your spouse, get excited about it, pray into it, and then share with people as well. The next question is, what is one small sustainable habit that we can build during this time? And it can go beyond this time as well, but I feel like sometimes we think goals are so big, but it can be something as simple as doing jumping jacks for 30 seconds a day, or working out for 15 minutes a day, or doing a walk around your apartment complex, or around your neighborhood, or around your block for 10 minutes.
Or even just like having a cup of tea or coffee together every day, or going to sleep at the same time at least once or twice a week together.
Yeah, that's good.
Just those simple habits.
And the last question is, what have you learned about each other during this time of quarantine? You have to be careful with this, but I just think it's important to acknowledge, how you're observing your spouse, talk about those things because you are constantly changing, but pray before that conversation, and then just talk about it. And I think it'll be really fun for, the two of you. Actually, next week we are starting Zoom calls. There'll be a survey that will go out. I'll talk more about that later. And we're going to go through these 5 questions. We actually expect, whoever is going to participate to do these 5 questions sometime this week, and we're all going to share what we came up with. Every couple will have 2 to 5 minutes to share kind of their thoughts on how they reflected on this.
And you can break up those questions in any day any way and day that you want. Malcolm set up 5 questions, so if you just want to do 1 question a day, that's totally cool. If y'all decide to do a date night one night and want to cover all of them, it's just whatever order you want to do in. But hopefully, you know, by the time we get to chat and get to know each other on Zoom, each couple has at least something to share.
Yeah. And lastly, we want to invite you all to read this book, Grace-Filled Marriage. And like we kind of talked about, we want to continue to sow into the most important relationship we each have. If you are married, that is your most important relationship. That is your number one mission. It's more important than work. It's more important than your kids. It's more important than the family, extended family. And so we want to invite you into opportunities to sow into your marriage in a community as well, because it's not meant to be isolated.
And it's such a key thing for young marriages and marriages in general, to surround yourself with people who are in a similar season as you, young and married, people who have the same values and are, you know, supporting and cheering and rooting for your marriage. Yeah,
that's good. So the goal is to do the Zoom call at 7 o'clock. The survey that's sent out is going to be on, you know, kind of what day works best for the most people.
And that's in the evening, 7 p.m.
Yeah, 7 p.m. Yeah. Oh, along with the book, when you get it, we're actually going to send you all the workbook that goes along with it. So we'll give you about 7 days to purchase the book. That way it can be in your home. And then, you know, as we get your addresses, we'll actually we're going to pay for the workbook so that you all can have that, and that we can have that as a framework for discussions in our Zoom calls.
And it'll be a really helpful thing, especially, you know, each couple will have their own workbook. So, each spouse will have their own workbooks, because there will be not just working on your marriage, but, you know, working on yourself too, and your faith with Jesus, and that will ultimately overflow and pour into your marriage. And so that's another goal out of this. Yeah.
Well, you all, thank you for your time. I look forward to seeing as many people as possible. It's not like everyone has anything to do. I'm playing. But I know, y'all, it is around 7 o'clock. So, you know, the Zoom calls will be around 7 o'clock. I know that's kind of getting into dinner. If you have kids, it can get kind of crazy. Invite your kids and have dinner while we're doing it. But it's an hour 15 minutes of your week. And it's an opportunity to sow into your marriage. So we look forward to seeing you there. Go ahead and fill out the link below so that we know how to approach this with everyone. We want to make sure that we're honoring everyone's time, and that we can maximize this opportunity for you to engage with the spouse, and that we can all grow together as a community in our marriage. It's about the next generation of marriages, y'all. We're doing it.
And it starts with us. So we're really excited to get to know y'all and engage on Zoom until we can meet in person.
Peace.